sleep well last night at all. I didn't sleep well last night at all, so I was going to take a nap today, and I thought, no, that's just going to perpetuate not sleeping. So focus.
Yeah, you want to fall asleep at night.
But I plan to go home and go to bed. No.
So we're just doing mayor and vice mayor tonight, right?
Yeah. We're not.
Let's get it over with.
Exactly. All right, let's roll. We all hear what happened to?
One's going to Orange County and one's going to Creek, so Debbie had like that.
Well, at least you got the dog. Makes it a little less.
Everybody here? Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Albany City Council special meeting for December 10th, 2018. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Barnes?
Here.
Councilmember Moss?
Present.
Councilmember Pilch?
Here.
Vice Mayor Nason? Here. Mayor McQuaid?
Here. First item of business is certification of the official results of the general municipal election held November 6, 2018. May I have a motion to adopt resolution 2018-136?
So moved.
I'll second, but I just wanted to ask a few questions of staff.
Okay, go for it.
I just wondered if there was anything unusual or different or noteworthy to point out about the election results, anything in the staff report, or is it pretty straightforward?
It's pretty straightforward. The registrar voter office did provide us a certification within the 30 days allowed.
Okay, so pretty pro forma. All right, that's it.
Okay, and you seconded?
I did.
Okay, poll the council, please.
Councilmember Barnes?
Yes.
Councilmember Moss?
Yes.
Councilmember Pilch?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nason?
Yes.
Mayor McQuaid?
Yeah, yes, and the motion passes. Okay, that brings us to the ceremonial matters, the oath of office.
With our two newly re-elected council members, please join me in front of the dais, please. You can face front if you like, or if you'd like to. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and please state your name. Do solemnly affirm. That I will support and defend. The Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of California. Against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance. To the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of California. That I take this obligation freely. Without any mental reservation. Or purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully discharge. The duties upon which I'm about to enter. Congratulations, Council Member McQuaid and Nason.
That brings us to new business, City Council reorganization. May we have a staff report, please?
Yes, this is the annual reorganization of the City Council where amongst the City Council members you elect a mayor and vice mayor, and you should have seen the procedure from the staff report. The mayor would ask for nominations. No second is required, and we will take the vote on the last nomination will be voted on first.
Are there any questions from council?
Are we starting with vice mayor or mayor?
We're starting with mayor.
No questions, but I do want to ask for some discussion on this item. And I do believe we have a public comment on this item too.
I haven't gotten that far yet. We're still on the questions from council section. Are there any questions? Okay, I will open it up to public comment. Do you have speaker cards?
I have Brian Beal, Alan Maris, and Margie Marks.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. So again, I think you've all done pretty good jobs of being city council members. I'd be fairly happy if any of you were the next mayor. But there's a couple things to talk about. One of them is the topic of rotation. And I think particularly in light of some of the political changes that are happening out there in the world, I think Albany's had this tendency to keep the same mayor for 2 or more terms. And it's better if we have a rotating mayor like other cities do, because it gives us a chance to see, well, maybe I'll step back to just what does the mayor do exactly? The mayor is the one that runs the city council and is the image of the city. So I think we benefit from having that change. Specifically then, there's some things about this particular city council that Mr. Pilch only gets to serve for 6 years. And there are only 2 of those remaining. I'd like to see him chosen as mayor in one of those 2 terms. I've known Nick since January of 2015 when I met him at actually a Democratic Party event. And I found that he's very connected to other people outside the city, very much involved, but also leading a lot of the efforts that are going on with the Democratic Club, with some of the initiatives we've had with the sidewalks and the soda tax. So I'd like to see him get a chance. I know it's your decision, and I'm certainly going to respect whatever that decision is. But my recommendation is for Nick Pilch to be the mayor, and I'm not sure about the vice mayor, whoever you want. So thank you.
Thank you.
Alan?
Alan Maris, an Albany resident. First of all, I'd like to thank Peggy McQuaid for serving as mayor for our past 2 years.
Thank you.
It's been a very effective council under your leadership, so thank you. I see there are 3 potential candidates, all of whom have served as vice mayor. Michael Barnes has served as vice mayor, and I think has broadened our perspective of some issues when he speaks. Rochelle Nason has provided very thorough analysis in some of the policies that we've developed. She's been able to see both sides of an issue and express them very articulately before she makes her decision. So I'd like you to consider all 3 of those people as potential candidates for mayor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Margie Marks, and first I want to thank Peggy, because I think Peggy's done an exemplary job as our mayor the last couple of years, and I think she really needs to be applauded. I've been so proud to have Peggy be the mayor of our little city.
Thank you.
I'm here tonight to speak in favor of Nick Pilch becoming mayor, and I, like Brian, feel that rotation is a good thing, and that in our little town, if someone wants to step up and take a leadership role, then the bodies that are here should encourage that. I know on the SEJC, of which I'm a member, I'm here speaking for myself, we've always rotated the chair. There were some people that thought someone was not appropriate to be the chair, and I fought very hard to have that person, and he stepped up and he met the challenge beautifully. And I think Nick is worthy of being the mayor. I saw the very hard work that he did on the soda tax. He was out there many weekends and evenings working on it, and I really appreciated that, and we saw it pass. So I would recommend Nick Pilch be our next mayor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Lisa Schneider. I would also like to thank our current mayor and vice mayor for the work that they've been doing. I show up at every event that I show up at, they are there, and at many others too, so I appreciate that. I also would like to recommend electing Nick Pilch as mayor either this year or the next. And I'm trying to think about what's good for Albany. And I think the rotation system that we've had in the past has been good for encouraging people to step forward and serve. So, as long as people are on the council long enough and want to serve, I think that it's a good thing to do. I think it's also really good for Albany and also generally to develop bench strength and political talent, potentially for other offices. And I think that's where the Albany mayor's opportunity to interact with and serve on various commissions that extend beyond Albany comes into play. And I also appreciate how proactive Nick has been and what good timing he had around things like the soda tax. And then the other factor is, the big factor is what do you want, but there's also what does Albany want, and the people here can speak for themselves or send, emails or whatever, but I'd also like to note that Nick won his election by a relatively large percentage of the votes that were cast in that election, and so that says something. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Council. Congratulations to Vice Mayor Nason and Mayor McQuaid. It was well thought. I'm happy to congratulate you for that. I would encourage you to appoint Councilmember Pilch as mayor. Not even the council of 2006. The majority of that year kept Peggy Thompson out of the mayor's chair for 5 years. So you'd be setting an interesting precedent if you did that. There was a lot of consternation at that time about what that council majority did. As was mentioned, Councilmember Pilch won the most votes of any candidate in Albany's history in the 2016 election. He had the support of over 60% of the voters who participated in that election. The two other council members who I would imagine are under consideration, Councilmember Nason won a scant 50% voter support, and Councilmember Barnes won a scant 40% voter support. So he has clear voter support. He's been kept out of the seat for 4 years, and I would ask you not to keep him out of the seat longer and set that precedent.
Thank you.
Evening. I'd like to join in congratulations on the re-election and on the service. Thank you all for your service on the council. I too will not belabor the point, but am interested in your appointing Councilmember Nick Pilch as mayor or secondarily as vice mayor, but I think he should have a shot at the leadership role for all the reasons that have been previously mentioned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Brian Persley, Albany resident. I think the council this council, along with other councils, have done a very good job. I think the mayor has been an excellent role model. I'm not just saying that because she takes my calls every morning.
It's the hard part.
So a couple of things. With regards to rotation, look, that ship has sailed. We can go back a dozen years when we used to have the mayor rotate every time. That changed. And so, you know, that horse is out of the barn. So unless the council chooses to want to go back, I don't think they're going to. So that issue is pretty much a non-issue. I'm not really sure about voter turnout versus percentages. I think if you win with one more vote than your opponent, then you've won. And I think that's, actually we saw that with the school board. So I'm not going to say who you should and shouldn't put up there. I think that that decision rests with the council, and that's why that the procedures are put that way. I think that any candidate out of this group would be an effective mayor. So I'm going to leave that up to the five wise minds up here. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to council for comments. Nick, would you like to start?
Not necessarily. I do have some things that I'd like to say, but what I'm interested in is a discussion. In the past 4 times that we've done this, or we haven't had any discussion, we've simply had the vote. I think in the interest of transparency, in the interests of knowing what my other council members are thinking, I would like to hear from my other council members about things like whether they're interested in being mayor, why they feel they should be mayor, any and all thoughts about this very important appointment that we make as a council and the voters don't get to make. So I open it to you, other council members. Do you have things to say?
Why don't you, obviously you would like to be mayor. Why don't you start and we'll just go down the list.
Well, I don't know if it's obvious, but I would like to be mayor. So I will start.
That's not a bad thing.
But I don't want to hold anyone else up. No one else wants to start? Rochelle, you look like you're no? Okay. All right. Well, I believe I've demonstrated both significant commitment to and the ability to hold the role of mayor. My commitment and participation in local and regional bodies such as EBCE as an alternate to ACTC, attendance at mayor's conferences, local League of California Cities event, and my active role as a member of the League of California Cities Environmental Quality Policy Committee, attending those quarterly meetings as well as conferences show my commitment. I've been actively involved in the legislative matters of this body, doing my part drafting ballot language and signing on to ballot measures. I took a leadership role in the sugar-sweetened beverage tax and have been on the streets both in 2016 and 2018, distributing literature and knocking on doors for ballot measures. My civic engagement is strong. Not only am I engaged as a founding member of several community organizations, I'm out participating in as many community events as I am able. Only a full-time job with a long commute prevents me from attending more. During my first 3 years, after our Mayor McQuaid, who attends everything unless she absolutely can't, you will find myself and Councilmember Moss as being the next most frequent attendants at all Albany events. Myself personally, over the past 4 years, I've been to countless Solano Avenue Association and Albany Chamber events, as well as many other civic events. My win in the last election in 2016 with the most votes and the letters of support you received, as well as those who have come to speak on my behalf, show that I have strong community support as well. I believe my time has come. I took the special 2-year term created by the passing of our former mayor, Peggy Thompson, as my first term, and therefore I only have 2 years left since being reelected to the council in 2016. I would ask that you vote for me as mayor. And I, again, ask for your comments as well. I would not like to leave it there. I would really, really like to hear from the other council members.
Rochelle, would you like to?
Yeah, I didn't prepare a statement. I am interested in becoming the mayor. If I am selected, I would continue in the model that Mayor McQuaid has set. I think that she has done a wonderful job. I've been privileged to work with her. I am as committed to the city of Albany as anyone sitting here, and have worked on a wide variety of issues as well. And I would very much like to do this. I also would point out I have been the executive director for decades of a nonprofit organization, and I think that I have a good understanding of the relationship between staff and a board in this type of organization, and I think that that's pretty crucial.
Okay. Michael, do you have anything you'd like to add at this point?
I don't want to be mayor.
That's good to know.
Pete?
Well, I'll take this opportunity to throw my hat in the ring. No, just kidding. You know, I'm just going to say some general things. I think we have two very qualified people that could be mayor for the next year, or possibly two. You know, it's my own view, and I think possibly our mayors come around to this idea too, that while it has been our practice to rotate the mayor in some haphazard way amongst the council, ultimately Albany would be better served with an elected mayor. And, you know, I came to that conclusion looking at, with my general view of where local government is going in the Bay Area, which I believe is going to become more regional and less kind of little fiefdoms of cities. And as that process proceeds, I think we would be, as a community, better positioned to have somebody who is in that mayoral position that's a spokesman for the community. We don't have that right now, and that would take a charter amendment. And obviously, the last time this went before the voters, it was voted down. And it seems, on the face of it, a little strange that we would have why we'd have to have this separate mayor. But in the long run, I think Albany would be better served. I am not interested in that job at some point, but I think Albany in general would be better served with an elected mayor. It would also make it, you know, frankly, easier for some of us up here to make decisions about people that we've come to work with and like, and then have to. It becomes a bit of a who likes me best thing. I don't know. It's just a little. It has a high school vibe to it that I've always felt kind of uncomfortable with. That said, we'll see where it goes tonight. And I want to add also that I think Mayor McQuaid's been a great mayor for the last 2 years, and thank her for that.
Thank you.
That's my 2 cents.
Okay, well, I don't really have anything to add right now. So with that, I will accept nominations for the role of mayor. And let me just explain the process before we jump in here. We'll accept nominations. I think you already went over this, but I'm going to just remind everybody. There's no second is necessary. We'll just shout them out. We're not going to go in any particular order. And then we'll poll the council starting with the last nomination. I'll nominate Rochelle.
I'll nominate Nick.
Okay, so I'm going to be polling for Nick Pilch, Councilmember Nick Pilch, to be the next mayor. Councilmember Barnes?
No.
Councilmember Moss?
Yes.
Councilmember Pilch?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nason?
No.
Mayor McQuaid?
No.
Okay, now I will be polling for Councilmember Rochelle Nason to be the next mayor. Councilmember Barnes?
Yes.
Councilmember Moss?
Yes.
Councilmember Pilch?
No.
Vice Mayor Nason?
Yes.
Mayor McQuaid?
Yes.
So Councilmember Nason will be our next mayor.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
But you don't get to start tonight. And now we'll accept nominations for vice mayor.
I would like to make a nomination for vice mayor, and this may surprise some people, but I feel that at this juncture in Albany's municipal history, it would be very helpful to have Mayor McQuaid continue as part of the leadership as the vice mayor. I think it would be helpful to me as the mayor, but most importantly, I think that with the crisis that is now rolling to resolution, but the combination of the problems at the school district and the fact that there is this enormous building program that will affect the future of Albany for as long as we can see, that Mayor McQuaid's background with the aquatic center, the school district, with all of that long experience, plus the 2 years that she has served as mayor, will be very helpful in assuring that the interests of the city of Albany are well protected, and the interests of the people of Albany in seeing a smoother relationship developed between the city and the school district.
Other nominations?
I'll nominate myself for vice mayor, although I haven't yet had my chance to thank Mayor McQuaid for her service, which has been great. I do believe that I didn't really want to cite rotation in this forum. I do want to bring it up again, though, during our retreat in January, which will be a public event, and everyone's invited to join us. I do want to bring it up there, but I do think for the matter of rotation, I'll nominate myself. I would also nominate Councilmember Barnes in order that we have the, I'll nominate myself now. I'm not nominating Councilmember Barnes, but I would be happy if someone nominated Councilmember Barnes as well. Both Pete has served 2 years as mayor and 1 as vice mayor. Peggy, 2 years as mayor, 1 as vice mayor. So that leaves me with 1 term as vice mayor, and Mr. Barnes, Councilmember Barnes, with 1 term as vice mayor. In the interest of rotation, I'm nominating myself.
Thank you. Are there other nominations? Okay.
Go ahead. So I will be polling for Councilmember Pilch to be the next vice mayor. Councilmember Barnes?
No.
Councilmember Moss?
Yes.
Councilmember Pilch?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nason?
No.
Mayor McQuaid?
No.
Now I will be polling for Councilmember McQuaid to be the next vice mayor. Councilmember Barnes?
Yes.
Councilmember Moss?
Yes.
Councilmember Pilch?
No.
Vice Mayor Nason?
Yes.
Mayor McQuaid?
Yes.
Sorry, it's Mayor Nason.
Not yet. Not yet.
I was going to say, not yet.
Next meeting.
There's no coup here.
You formerly known as the mayor.
Okay, thank you very much. And with that, we will adjourn. Our next meeting will be Monday, December 17th.